Eric.
Christopher, what's going on?
Nothing.
Welcome to, you got a coffee or a tea or what's going on?
Hey.
There you go. It's like a quarantine and a coffee with Christopher Adamson. How about this?
There you go.
It's not that bad.
Put my backdrop.
What's going on? Just trying to learn. You got a nice backdrop. I got nothing. I just got books and at least you got a cool shirt on there. I like it.
I got a lot of comedy shirts.
I like it.
Reminder of what I'm working towards.
So what's going on? When did you get back and what the heck have you been doing?
Got back 13 days ago.
Was it actually 13 days? So you're in your last couple days of quarantine?
Yeah.
Have you gone crazy yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. What do you do to pass the time? Do you have like a schedule or?
Nah. I mean, banjo's been here, so that's taken up a lot of time. Then, I'm taking some Spanish courses, doing some other like little courses, and not much else, man.
Why Spanish? Is that just to like help with all the Spanish players I'm sure you're going to be coaching when you're back overseas?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always had a bit of an interest, and I used to be able to be serviceable in it, but that slipped. So, yeah, just a bit more of a concerted effort to learn and stuff. So, see how it goes. It's pretty fun, though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what about any movies you're watching? You've been like ripping through TV shows or anything?
Well, Ozark came out.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'm last season, so I've got one more episode to go. Then other than that, yeah, just crushing some movies and stuff.
Did you get into the Tiger King at all? Everyone's raving about that.
I've seen everything on Twitter and stuff like that. It seems absolutely ridiculous, but I might have to have
Yeah. All right. So, like, what did you actually?
Recording already?
Yeah, we're recording. We're already talking. We're chatting. I got a coffee. You got a frisbee. We're rolling, Tank.
There you go. Informal. I like
Informal. It's just how it goes. You got a great shirt, great background. How's the lawn? I know you're a big lawn guy.
It's seen better days.
Disappointing.
I think whilst I was away, it got neglected a little bit, I must admit.
Wow.
So, yeah, wasn't too happy about that when I came home, but I'm playing the salvage game. But there's a bit of rain on the forecast in the next few days, so fingers crossed.
So how long were you in the States for? Like, you were probably only there for what, 2 weeks?
I was there for almost a month. So once my visa finally got in, I was there for about a month. So about the last two and a half weeks of like mini camp. So where they've got their top prospects and some younger guys in. I was there for a couple of weeks, and then minor league camp properly started for the last like week and a bit. So it was good. It was amazing actually. It was everything you want to be doing. You're on the field every day. With some dudes that really know what they're doing, and the coaches are all awesome. So yeah, it was a great time, and yeah, look forward to getting back.
We were like tuning in and like flipping some games of just like on our MLB whatever Game Pass or whatever. So we put the Phillies game on, and you were just standing at third base, like doing like coaching at third base. That was kind of a weird moment for me, just seeing that. Like, were you expecting that? When did that happen? Like, how did that happen?
No, there's been a couple of like surreal moments, I guess, where you kind of like, you're standing next to someone that you've only ever watched on TV, which is cool. And probably one of the cool things, though, is I reckon, just sharing a locker room with some guys that you've looked up to for an extended period. That's really cool. And then just realising that they're just normal people, So you sit there and you just, you're talking the same smack to one another that you talk, when we're back home and when we're back playing. So it was, it's been a great experience and something that, as I said, I'm looking forward to getting back into it, definitely.
Kind of sounds like you were living a bit of a dream, and that sucks that this got cut off. It sucks for everybody, but that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. Obviously, there's some big picture stuff at play, and, sport and baseball, it'll be back at some point, and hopefully, if anything, a bit of a silver lining, obviously, to a pretty dire situation, so it might help people to appreciate, some things a little bit more. It's easy to take things for granted, whether it be watching sport on TV or, just being able to go outside and live your life, a little bit more free. It's something that I think there is some positives come of it if we look at it that way,
And where was it that you were going to be coaching, like when the season actually started after spring?
So I was going to be based in a town called Lakewood in New Jersey, so up near the Jersey Shore, for those that remember that show. Yeah, right around there, so it's going to have to get my tan on. It's a little bit lacking at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be up there. And then our league is actually pretty brutal in terms of travel. So pretty much all the way down the East Coast, we're probably the most north in terms of cities. But then, we go all the way down to the Carolinas and into Georgia and into Kentucky and see a fair bit of country. So it's going to be good. Hopefully it gets cracking this year. But, it's going to be a good experience when it gets going.
So can you walk me through what kind of players you'd be coaching? Because obviously you got the MLB team, the Phillies, and that's where all those big money players are playing. And then AAA, which is sort of like your reserves, your sandful equivalent, the guys that might, if they're injured, they get called up. What's below that, and where were you coaching?
Yeah, so there's AA, there's beneath AAA, and then there's your different levels of A-ball. So there's a high A, which is kind of in between your regular. So where I'll be is what's called low A. So it's the first full season for the guys. So the Phillies are renowned for being a little bit more, aggressive in getting guys out to full seasons. So I'll have quite a younger group. Last year they were the youngest team in professional baseball. So I think a fair few of those guys will be returning, and which will be exciting. We'll also get to go and hopefully help them on their journey and get them, moving up the ladder. Because from there, there was some guys just that were there last year that, they progressed 3 levels in one season, so it's really early on in their journey, but it's definitely a big step in, helping them to prepare on a daily basis for, what is a long season.
So would you get a guy like a Logan O'Hoppe or a Mitch Edwards, those like late teens, early 20-year-olds that are like at the beginning of their career on the team?
It's probably a pretty good chance, they're right around that age, and, it all comes down to, where the best fit is for the individual and also the team itself. But I'd say there's absolutely a chance that we'll cross paths with some people that we've seen in Adelaide over the last 12 months for sure.
And then when you're in spring training, obviously the organization has their big master plans. You've walked me through that even with Texas before. They have literally every guy sort of mapped out. Do you get any input on like who is on the team at all, or is it just sort of just like, here's the guys you're working with and this is the outcomes you want? Because I imagine it's not necessarily objective to win necessarily it is of course, but like it's also to develop the players.
Yeah, there's obviously a huge development aspect, and there would have been some meetings happening, right around now, and in the past, 1 or 2 weeks, there would have been more, to do with where guys are going. But we did have our little working groups, which, kind of give you a little bit of a snapshot of what your group might look like. But in terms of, how much say people have, we hadn't got to that point. But there will be times, where they do kind of open up the floor and you can put your opinions in on guys and, because you might know a guy better than someone else that's sitting next to you. So that's something that didn't happen yet, but definitely will. But it's something that, as you said, it's winning's still, a big part of it, but it's just going out and competing every day and helping the kids to prepare every single day to give themselves the best chance of success at whatever level they go to, It's one thing, particularly at the level I'm at, where it's their first full season, so they'll play 140 games. The things within their control are the most important things, So if we just sat there and talked about winning, you're going to go through good stretches and bad stretches. That's not necessarily going to be the most beneficial for those kids, So we'll try and teach them a little bit more about how to prepare and how to, look after yourself and how to just really dominate the things within your control. So it's going to be good fun.
That's cool, because I guess you can just bring over a lot of the stuff that you've been like sort of preaching and implementing with the Bite/Giants over the last few years over to the States as well too.
Absolutely, and the group I'll have will be very similar to the ages of guys that we've had, particularly the last couple of years, where we have a fairly young team. So that hopefully should prepare me quite well, but also understanding that baseball is a really hard game. At these higher levels, that there's unbelievably talented people. So if you're just focused solely on results, then it's going to be tough, and it's going to make the lows even lower, So hopefully for me, I'm trying to make the ups and downs that are still inevitable, make them a little bit more like this as opposed to like this. we'll see how we go, but it's a challenge that I really like.
It is a pretty hard game, and like while we won more games than anybody else this season with the Giants, a lot of the times it wasn't necessarily easy. One or two comeback victories. I think let's talk today about that first weekend, because that's sort of when it all started. We won the first game of the year 10-3 versus Brisbane. That was just a whitewash right away. But it was sort of that Saturday that I think everybody realized this group was special when we won 2 games on a doubleheader. What do you remember about that day, and can you almost tell me what your game story was in your mind about that day?
I guess, we've been talking, as I just mentioned, just about continuing to compete. And, on that particular day, we got into their bullpen. We were actually down, like with Ryan Searle, who was, he's been a key figure in the Australian baseball landscape for an extended period of time.
And he's had our number a little bit too.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's been an unbelievable pitcher for a long period of time. So just the way that they really, kept competing and had some success that day, I think that kind of set the tone for the whole year, that irrespective of who's on the mound, because, we're going to face a lot of really, really good guys. There was that intrinsic belief that, if we can continue to just, put together good at-bats and, keep running the bases hard and keep playing the game the right way, then good things can happen. So that did just kind of set the tone to be like, we can hang with these more experienced older guys, and, we just need to really stay within us and just keep competing our butts off and see what happens.
Yeah, it was cool day, because I think it was like in the 6th inning, they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th to go up 3-0 or 3-1 in game 1 of the doubleheader. And then Rickson hit the home run in the 8th inning, and you thought the game was over, and then allowed a home run to Mitch Nilsson, who had like 4 or 5 hits that day, because he's a freak as well too. And then it took just a wild series of events to actually get that walk-off. It was unconventional. Is that the one that was like the soft hit ground ball just to the right place at the right time for Rickson?
Yeah, he hit the little nubber just past the pitcher into shallow shortstop, and the third baseman, they were playing a shift, and the third baseman kind of fell on it, and we seemed to have Whitey on base every time, which was good.
Yeah, you want the fast dude in the competition there, probably good side.
Right. I think if Rickson's on second base and Aaron's running, it's a different story. But no, that was good. There's so many good teaching moments from that weekend, like Jason Locke gave up that home run to Mitch Nilsson there, and that was a great teaching point there with, how to set up hitters a little bit more effectively and how to stick with our strengths as opposed to expose opposition weaknesses and those types of things. So that was a really, really positive thing for us as well, in addition to obviously winning. But just seeing, the way that we can win in a variety of different ways was really cool, and it did instill that belief, as I mentioned.
Do you think even on Jason Lott there, that showed a lot about how the team just kept picking each other up? Because that was one of Lott's first appearances for the Giants, and I'm sure that wouldn't have been fun at home, giving up a 2-run bomb to put the team behind. But after that, he was unbelievable. Like, his ERA was one of the lowest in the competition. He gets an invite to go and show his stuff in front of the Phillies. Like, that is a great way to bounce back as well, too, from what could have been a rocky start.
Oh, he obviously had a great year. The results speak for themselves, but he came here to pitch, and I know when we were talking to him in the off-season, it was that he's going to pitch in fairly high-leverage situations and continue to get those opportunities. So it's something that, it was probably good for him. Obviously, he was putting a lot of pressure on himself then, which is completely understandable and just a human thing. But, it was good to be able to show them that, you're going to go out there and you're going to pitch more important innings the rest of the way. So, that was cool for him, and it did, I think, instill a little bit more self-belief in himself that, he's here to play and he's here to help us hopefully be successful.
Yeah, cool. And one more thing I want to touch on that opening weekend is I was watching Josh Spence's video yesterday about like what he was charting the game, and I've heard you say this a bunch too, is that a baseball game comes down to 2 or 3 plays in a game. It's rarely one play, but it's a series or a couple little small things that make a big difference. Do you think that sort of drove it home with all the comeback victories that we had this year that were just the narrow thing? Was that because we had those little moments and we just won those little plus-minus battles with other teams?
Yeah, absolutely. There might be a time in the first or second inning that, you might execute, whether it be moving a guy or driving a guy in, and that, it's the first or second inning, but it still gives us a chance at the back end of the game to keep someone close. Or, a big thing that I was really proud of was the way we played defense all year. We played really great defense, which, limited free bases, and we pitched really well, which also limited free bases. So we kept teams close even when we were down. So that was something that, even in the games that we did lose, we were in a lot of those games, which is obviously credit to the pitching staff and the way we played, but also just, the belief that if we can just play basic baseball field and throw it first, and we've got a chance.
All right, my coffee's almost done, so we'll finish the baseball chat. But, you're going through your last day of quarantine, isolation, whatever you want to call it. Any lessons you learned about yourself from just having to be shut in for this amount of time that you maybe wouldn't have got without this experience?
Probably. To start with, maybe actually enjoying downtime for what it is. Like, whilst it's not an ideal situation, it is a little bit of downtime for people, to reconnect, whether it be with themselves or with their family, and even with their friends, via phone conversations just like this. There's not necessarily the face-to-face interaction, so you need to get a little bit more creative with it. So, that's been pretty good, and obviously, maybe ticking a few chores off at home. For some reason, I came home to a pretty long list, so to knock some of that stuff off. But yeah, I guess just to appreciate the stuff that we probably do take for granted, whether it be just watching sport on television, being able to go out to a pub and have a feed, or whatever it might be, So I guess just really appreciate those things, and I think that I'll be dancing in the street once we can finally come out the other side of this and realise, we're pretty lucky. A lot of us already knew that, but it just reinforces that fact.
So you and I are both big sports guys. We talk about all sports all the time, not just baseball. I've been going through over the last couple of weeks watching some big sporting moments just to relive, because it's a good 3 hours to pass the time. So for instance, I watched 2010 gold medal game, Canada-USA. Last night I watched Game 7, Raptors, Philadelphia 76ers from last year. I need an Australian sporting moment or from anything that I could watch that maybe I haven't been into before. What's something that you could just put on repeat and watch over and over again?
Or probably the 1991 Rugby League Grand Final.
See, I know nothing about this.
Where the Penrith Panthers won their first ever premiership. That was a great day in my life. But 2003, same team. That was a great grand final also. There's 2005 AFL Grand Final with the Swans. They hadn't won in a long, long, long time. It was the longest drought in Australian sports history at that point.
Is that just a good game as well too?
Absolutely, yeah. So they were just hard fought, and a little bit obviously of personal connection.
Yeah.
They're my, but that's they're big ones. And there's been some some epic some games in the cricket, even like this last Ashes series. We won the Ashes technically, but there was actually one of the best things I've ever seen was a game that we lost. When I don't know if you were watching that, but it was about 3 a.m. here, and watching Ben Stokes just tear us apart for about 3 straight hours was one of the most unbelievable individual efforts I've ever seen in cricket in particular. So there's too many to name.
Yeah.
There's 10 parts coming out about Michael Jordan. So
I cannot wait for that because they're fast tracking that. That was the last dance or whatever it's called. That looks unbelievable. That will be first thing on my list when that comes out. I think it's April 10th or something like that. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, that was good feel by the people that produced that to get it out to the people early. That'll keep people at home at least for 10 hours.
Yeah. Because and that's all background footage that they've just had. That's going to be good because there's no Masters to watch around this time of year. There's no that drama of live sport playing out, so all we can do is relive moments. So I think I got to learn a new sport.
That's it. We might need to get some footage of the 1980 Claxton Shield final.
Yeah. Does that exist? If anyone has it, please send it through. We can live stream it on our Facebook page or something like that. Gordon.
That's you,
Gordon.
mate.
Yeah, that's it. One of our longtime members. Sweet. Well, Tank, thanks so much for catching up for a quick coffee with me. And I'll report back to you on what I think. What was it, the 2005 Grand Final?
AFL Grand Final.
I'll start with 91 NRL Grand Final and 2005 AFL Grand Final, and I'll report back to you.
All right, sounds good, mate.
All right, Tank. Thanks so much for catching up. See you later.
All right, take it easy.